super witches with the fireball. The most popular strategy in the entire game right now. We will see how it works at Th13, and how to crush any Town Hall 13 bases with this strategy. So let's go. This is the general army composition. Feel free to make small changes according to the target base. And these are the ideal hero equipments for this strategy. I will also show you when to use this equipment set on the king. Now in this strategy, we usually clear out a good chunk of the base with the fireball, including 1 or 2 major defenses. It will also create a straight or L-shaped pathing for the super witches. King and SB on the opposite flank will further narrow down the path, and the super witches along with the warden and queen will sweep through the entire base afterwards. That's how this strategy usually works. So here on this base, we will deploy the warden here and try to hit this multi with the fireball. For that, we will use a couple of invisibility spells like this, so the fireball can target the Inferno and take down the whole compartment on the impact. We need 1 earthquake spell to finish off some big defenses. After the fireball, we will deploy the super witches and queen here to follow this path. Warden will also join them, and together they will move like this. King and SB will clear this flank and keep them centered. We will use jump spell here to help them move through the entire base, and rage spell will get us through the town hall. Queen ability in the core will provide the extra healers and some burst damage, and we will use RC with the CC hogs as usual. That's the plan. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with deploying the baby dragon. I always use it to create a little bit of funnel and make sure the king and SB troops stays on the flank and don't actually go into the base. Now let's deploy the warden over other side. Coco Loon ahead of the healers will protect them from possible black mines. Alright, now let's set up for the fireball. You have to cover all the nearby defenses with invisibility spell and keep the target defense visible, so the fireball can actually target it, and it will also take down all the buildings around it as well. And just like that, we get an instant funnel. Alright, the super witches are out now. Always pile them up near the edge of Warden's ring to pull him towards them, and due to large housing space, Eagle will target them and then healers will shift on them as well. In the meantime, King and SB troops will walk the flanks and push the main pack into the base. Looks like the rage spell we used for the town hall will also carry us through the enemy CC. They are never an issue with this strategy. Super witches can handle any CC troops with the help of the poison spell. We can always use the freeze spells to get through such high damaging defenses like single Inferno or the scatter shots. The Royal Champion and CC Hogs are out now. It works pretty similar to the Hog Puppet equipment of the RC. Hogs will surge ahead and provide the tanking while RC will take down the defenses staying protected behind them. Alright, let's use the Rage spell to get through the Eagle compartment. You can see, we have all 4 super witches still alive, and all our heroes are still moving. Well, the king just died. But you got my point. This strategy is very powerful. Now let's finish this up and move to the next attack. Now this base has a more centralized town hall, so we have to create a tight funnel to push the super witches in towards it. But there's great fireball value all around the base, and we will go for the juiciest of them all. You guessed it right. We will go after the eagle with the fireball in this one. So we will deploy the warden here, and use 2 invisibility spells like this. That makes the fireball to hit the eagle and take down all these things on the impact. 1 earthquake spell will clear up everything except the eagle, but the warden will finish it off afterwards. Due to the eagle compartment completely eliminated by the fireball, the super witches will have this L-shaped narrow path to follow. The warden will also join them, and together, they will move like this. Jump spell here will give them access to the town hall, and we will use rage spell and queen ability to get through it. King and SB will clear the flank and keep them centered, and we will use RC later to go with the CC hogs like the last attack. Simple plan. Now let's execute it. Alright, let's start with the baby dragon as usual. You doesn't necessarily have to do this, but it certainly helps with the pathing of the super witches since we use the king and SB pretty late. Those healers under Warden's Rage Gem will work fine most of the time. But if the Warden eventually takes too much damage, then feel free to use Freeze or Rage spell to protect him. Now you need some game knowledge to understand how many invisibility spells actually needed. Like here, I know one invisibility is enough to hide all 3 defenses on each side. Usually 2 invisibility spells are enough, but we are bringing in 3 just in case. Alright, the super witches are out now. Notice how I pulled the warden by deploying them near his ring. I like to use one ice golem in the mix, as I always do in any smash attack. It's good for providing tanking for a while, and then it also provides an extra freeze spell afterwards, which is pretty amazing. Now, one of the reasons why this strategy works so well is those big boys. They are very tanky and always surge ahead to take most of the damage while the rest of the troops stay protected behind them. And when they eventually die, the super witches will respawn them in few seconds. So as long as the super witches survives, this strategy will never lack the firepower. But you have to keep them together throughout whole attack to achieve that, because as soon as they get separated, healers won't be able to keep them alive. That's why funneling is very important for this attack. Alright, now in both of these attacks I showed you the more conventional approach with the SB. But up next, I will show you how to attack a diamond or teaser type base with the use of Flame Flinger. So don't miss out on that. Now here on this base, this is the ideal path for the super witches, since it gives us direct access to the town hall. But attacking from this side will be challenging, because there is high chances of the super witches to split up and move out, and not go after the town hall. So we will attack from this side to secure the town hall nice and early. But there's still a problem. This congested walls can ruin our pathing, and it's very hard to get through them. That's why we will send in the king along with the super witches, and use these equipments set on him to open these walls. And with him going into the base, we will use Flame Flinger for the funneling, because unlike the SB, it works fine on its own. So we will use the Flame Flinger on this side to clear all these things and set the funnel. Hitting the air defense with the fireball will take down all these things and complete the funnel on this side. It will leave us with this straight narrow path through the town hall for the super witches. Along with all 3 heroes, they will move like this. We will use king ability to get through the compact walls, and jump spell here will give us access to the back end. For enough planning. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with the Flame Flinger, since it is very slow and has a potential to cause a time fail. Giant in front will trigger any possible hidden Teslas. Now you can also use the SB here, but it is very vulnerable without king. And also there's no X bows on this side, that's why Flame Flinger is a better choice. So ultimately, if you want your king to stay outside on the flank, then use the SB with him. And if you are planning to have him go into the base with super witches, then Flame Flinger is better option. Alright, enough on that. Now let's deploy the warden. Now I am using a level 18 fireball. But this strategy will also work fine with level 15. In fact, I made a whole video on another attack strategy with level 15 fireball. Check this video from the channel after finishing this one. But getting the fireball to level 18 is worth it, since it does more damage and have 1 tile larger radius, so it can take down more buildings on impact. For the king though, this spiky ball with earthquake boots combo is pretty common these days, It certainly helped when you were sending him into the base like this, but you can also use the OG Gauntlet plus Rage Vial combo if you have it at good levels already. It is pretty universal, and works fine with any strategy. Even though the Queen is not very significant in this attack, and this strategy works fine without her, but her ability comes very handy, especially in the core. Because the extra healers can be very useful to get through the back end, and her clones doesn't only distract the defenses, but also provides a good amount of burst damage. Just like that. Alright, up next is the attack on a difficult single Inferno base for the Super Witches, so don't click away now. Now here on this base, all the Infernos are set single, and 2 of them are even isolated. That makes it a hard base to attack with Super Witches, because they are not good against single Infernos, and we can't path through the isolated singles. That's why we have to get one of the isolated Inferno with the Fireball. We won't get any additional value here, but that's okay, because our priority with the Fireball is setting up a solid funnel and not any crazy value. So we will set up the Fireball to hit this single, and the Warden will clear all these things afterwards. That will result into this L-shaped path through the Town Hall for Super Witches. They will move like this. King and SB will walk this flank, and RC with Hogs will handle the remaining isolated Inferno. Jump spell here will give them access to the back end, and we will use remaining spells to get through it. Sounds like a plan. Now let's put it together. Alright, let's start with the baby dragon this time. Now the biggest and perhaps the only issue with the Super Witches used to be the time fails due to slow Warden walk. But the Fireball has completely solved this issue as it can create an instant funnel. That's why Super Witches are thriving at almost every town hall right now. But there are still few things to keep in mind, like creating a proper funnel for the Super Witches, because they have to go into the base and not just walk around. Usually the Fireball will do the job even if you miss the actual target sometimes. But you have to be precise with the invisibility spells and the Warden's deployment, or else the Fireball will go completely off target and ruin the whole attack from the beginning. The other thing to keep in mind is the proper spell management. Now due to no zaps, we have plenty of support spells for the Super Witches. But you have to use them wisely, because we have only 4 Super Witches, and losing even a single one of them would be a quite significant loss. So always protect them with freezes, invis, or rage spells whenever needed. So this is the Th13 Fireball Super Witch attack strategy. I hope you will have so much fun with this one. And if you want to learn more exciting Th13 attack strategies, then check out my Town Hall 13 playlist. I will see you there.